Chapter 27. The Body, the Mind, and Ma's Grand Design. "You too," said the king, pointing his finger at the timid extractor, then another finger at T. Hammond's head. "Follow me." We reached a junction where all corridors converged into a central space before the king stopped. "Not just anyone gets a chance to be an extractor," said the king. "In fact, rarely do we find a worthy candidate. Explain how you got here." Silence waited while neither of us wanted to talk. "Come on, tell me how you became an extractor," said the king. "Sir, I interviewed with Reynolds," said the extractor. "I found the pyramid when I arrived with the holy man. It's been 28 years ago when Ditto and—" "Don't say his name," said the king. "Well, there were 3 of us with him at the time," added the timid extractor. "We trekked a long way to get here, and I don't care about your past. You were worthless in there," said the king. "It won't happen again, sir," said the extractor. "And you, Jack, how did you get here?" asked the king. "Your name was the only one not on our list. Care to explain?" "I interviewed with the general extractor," I told him. "Mind telling me who?" asked the king. The entire hallway was silent except for a drip of water falling behind us. The only other sound was a couple pairs of footsteps coming up the corridor. I was holding my wrists behind my back, ready to reach for the arrowhead as soon as Ma gave the command. I exhaled and pictured how the silent blade could slip up through the canvas sheath. There were only 2 of them here. First the king, and then I'd try to pierce my comrade's neck. "T. Hammond," I told him. "Hammond?" asked the king. His eyes locked onto mine. This thought required a few extra moments. "T. Hammond?" asked the king. Footsteps emerged from the hall behind us when my hands settled into my pockets. I could feel the base of the arrowhead when the king rubbed his chin while Reynolds and an unmasked soldier came toward a room across the corridor. "Everything all right, sir?" asked Reynolds, acknowledging the king. Just as the king opened his mouth to speak, the unmasked soldier spoke first. "Jack!" asked the soldier. "Is that you?" His eyes were gleaming with excitement. "It is." He looked closer. "How are you, sir? It's good to see you as always. It's me, John Sanders." The man grabbed hold of my arm to shake our hand. "John Sanders, the soldier from the little box on the way in. Goodness, I've never been more excited to see someone I hate." "Of course," I said, latching onto his hand. "Pleasure to see you again." "You know him?" asked the king. "Of course I know Jack," said the soldier. "And Sanders is a valuable soldier. Too good to be on the front lines." I let go of his hand before we settled back into our stance. "Is that so?" asked the king. "He's right. I'll do anything for you. In fact, I'm going to be just like Jack here. I'm the man for the job, sir," said Sanders. Everyone held their position before Reynolds and Sanders departed into a meeting room. The king's finger alternated between the timid extractor and I. "There were only supposed to be 6 of you in this group. But Hammond, well, he's been transferred, and we didn't know he hired anyone. As long as you don't let me down, we'll call this an exception," said the king. "I'm counting on you both." Turning away, we began moving back toward the control room when the king's grip latched onto my arm. "And what did Hammond tell you about extraction?" whispered the king. His hand was squeezing my skin. Both Hammond and I hated it, because the last time he touched us was with a knife, and the last time he got me was with a fistful of rings. The tighter he squeezed, the more Hammond was ready to destroy this white man. Miracles. Miracles happen to those who believe. That's what I wanted to tell him. "Yes," I paused. "We're all animals, and if you push an animal past their limit, they break right open." He was the lion of a kingdom, but this corridor was too cold for him. This was my home, and I was ready to break him when, "Very good," he said. "This is your duty from now on, and I expect the very best from you, Jack." T. Hammond's heartbeat was raging inside my chest, erratic and pissed. Life has always been chaos from the beginning. We've been spinning in circles since the day we were born, but now I believe in
miracles.
I heard Ma whisper it. Back in the main control room, I rejoined the group of new extractors with Evil. The king announced that there would be 7 extractors in our group on one condition, and one condition only. If you fail to do the job, you will be forced to leave.